possibly the worst Offspring song of all time. I don't know what they were thinking with that track. Cruising California, parentheses, bumping in my trunk. I remember back in 2012 when that song came out, my good buddy Zach was all excited for a new Offspring album. He was really into them back then. And then he heard that whole thing, including that track, and he was just livid. He was so mad about their change of sound with that Days Go By album. Anyway, it's good to be back from Southern California. I needed that trip desperately. I needed to just forget about here for a week, at least a week. Luckily, I got my week off and then flew back in on Monday, took an extra 2 days off, both Tuesday and yesterday, to be sort of, sad, but then also get myself back into Idaho mode. And now I'm back here on this lovely pre-Friday, a.k.a. Thursday, with only 2 days left in the week to go, and then a full weekend to look forward to. Really, I mean, what better time to show up than the end of the week or close to the end of the week, right? If you want to get a hold of me, now you can over at 208-535-1015. I have 2 chances before 7 p.m. today to potentially win the K-Bear 101 Secret Sound powered by our good friends at the Advocates Injury Attorneys. If you listened at 7:05 this morning, you would know the hours today. Victor told you on the air. If you didn't, well, there's always tomorrow in case both people don't guess it correctly this afternoon. Also, if you haven't signed up to be called, make sure to do so through the Secret Sound forum on the K-Bear Alt or Cannonball 101 apps. Someone this afternoon could win $451, which would be great to just make somebody's day, right? You can find all the incorrect guesses as well through the forums on the apps. This is not the cue to call just yet. I'll potentially be doing that here in just a little bit. I'll also be talking a lot about the trip throughout the afternoon show. So if you're one of those people that says Peaches talks about California too much, well, I was born and raised there. I apologize. If I was born and raised here, I would talk about my upbringing here, obviously. But no, that's not the case. Anyway, Peaches Pit Party will be back here in just a few on K-Bear 101. AC/DC, man, they were great to see live at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena this past Friday. It was just awesome to see them for one last time. I was so beyond worried that this trip wouldn't happen. Because Allegiant, for the most part, they only fly Mondays and Fridays to and from Santa Ana, the John Wayne Airport. So if my flight got canceled on Monday, I would have had to try to fly in the day of the show, which would have absolutely sucked. I'm sure the flight would have been later on in the afternoon, and I would have missed the concert entirely. Luckily, everything went according to plan. I get real worried, like right before a trip happens, like something last minute's going to pop up or something like that. Until that plane lands where I need to be, I get very anxious, but luckily, like I said, everything went just fine. It was awesome to see AC/DC for potentially the last time ever. I mean, they're up there in age. Angus Young, 70. Brian Johnson, 77 years old. I'm also extremely glad we don't have to pay for parking here in Southeast Idaho for shows. I know in Boise, I didn't pay the last time I went to the Ford Idaho Center Arena. That's because I showed up so early that the parking lot attendants weren't there yet. And when they're not there, you can just simply park for free. That's at least according to Big J of 100.3 The X, because I met him there for Disturbed, Seven Dust, and 3 Days Grace. That was a great show back in February. I think Salt Lake City, I paid like once to park there, but it was like $10. Nothing compared to the $75 to park your car at the Rose Bowl. Luckily enough, my dad and I found this place where you can park your car for $30, which is still a lot to just park your car. And then you take the shuttle to the venue. They had multiple giant buses ready to go. You know, this place was prepared for 80+ thousand AC/DC fans. We got there very early. I think we got to the parking lot in Pasadena at around 2:45. Got on the shuttle around 3. And then my dad found out, oh, yeah, the doors open at 5:30, which is what I told him, but he doesn't listen. And he's like, oh, we got to wait for 2.5 hours. I'm like, yeah, we got to be here early to beat the crowd. It sucks, I know. But the show itself, when it finally came around, it was awesome. The Pretty Reckless did amazing. AC/DC, they didn't really say anything in between songs. It was just song after song after song after song, and I think they played 21 songs in total. There were some on there that I was like, really? They're playing like Riff Raff and Sin City and Stiff Upper Lip. They didn't play Money Talks or what's it called? The Razor's Edge, anything like that. They played, of course, their classics too. Don't get me wrong. They played Back in Black, Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, a whole lot of good stuff there. But we left, I think, at the 20th song, right before the 2 encores, and there was tons of people that also left around the same time we did. So it was kind of like leaving at the end of the show. But luckily, we got out of there, and it was a great time. You can tell they really slowed down Thunderstruck. I should upload the brief video that I recorded of Thunderstruck. It was just very slow, like thunder, da 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 da. Like it was, you can tell it's just because of their age. I mean, Brian Johnson, like I said, is 77 years old. Angus is 70, and it happens to you. It really does. It happens, and I don't want to like bash them. They're doing one last U.S. tour, I feel like, with this tour, and then they'll do one brief Australian tour and then call it quits. I thought they would have retired years ago, but you can tell they just love doing what they do. Brian Johnson, one of the most positive dudes. The show itself didn't have any pyro either. I thought there would be like pyrotechnics, some big fireworks show, the big Rosie blow-up doll like they usually have. That wasn't there. For Highway to Heck, they had some fire, but nothing really crazy. I think Brian Johnson had a walking boot on because he injured his foot in Minneapolis the first night of the tour, but he was still walking around doing his thing. He sounded great. So overall, it was a fantastic time. I got myself the most expensive poster at $75. It's now hung up on my wall. Got a trading card as well. I didn't get a t-shirt. I just got the poster, the trading card. I got a fridge magnet too because I love collecting those. Luckily, I didn't purchase any of those. My dad bought them for me, but I did pay for my AC/DC ticket. I paid the $200 for my dad. I'm like, here you go. And there was some extra money in there just for me to say, hey, thank you for buying these tickets back in January. And I know we have a lot of listeners going to the Las Vegas show coming up here. I think, is it today or tomorrow? I don't know when that one is. But yeah, if you want to go to any show coming to the area, check out that concert calendar. I just updated it today. riverbendmediagroup.com/calendar. Over the weekend, what I did is that, WrestleMania 41 happened in Las Vegas at Allegiant Stadium. And I can't believe we're already on 41, by the way, because my dad and I went to WrestleMania 21 back in 2005, 20 years ago. I feel old saying that. 20 years ago, back when I was 8. It was so different back then. Hulk Hogan was there. A wrestler named Eugene was there. Muhammad Hassan just full on attacks Eugene. Hulk Hogan comes out as the savior, the American wrestler, and takes him down and everything. I got to see Chris Benoit wrestle. I got to see Eddie Guerrero wrestle. I don't really remember much from the show because it was 20 years ago, but it was a fun time. Even though we were all the way up in the back, we were in the nosebleeds of the Staples Center. It was a fun time nonetheless. I can't believe my dad actually paid money to come to a wrestling show because I know he hated it. Now I'm like watching wrestling and I'm going like, what? I enjoyed this at one point. Like, it's too predictable. It's silly. But I'm like, you know what? I'll check out WrestleMania, see if any legends return or anything like that. And, well, what I did is that I avoided any spoilers. I avoided all spoilers as much as I could. And then I just watched the replay on Peacock of WrestleMania 41. And I fast forwarded through most of it. And what was like a 4-hour long show ended up being like, I don't know, 45 minutes. Every match, I believe, was sponsored. It was like, hey, this match is brought to you by Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry. It's like, what? Like, why does every match need a sponsor? Why do we need advertisements galore when trying to watch wrestling? It was awful. But it was a unique thing to watch. I mean, to fast forward through. But the overall funny part is that there was a ton of people trying to leave Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. And there were so many people at the escalator trying to get out of there that people were trying to run up the down escalator. And most of them not necessarily in the best of shape compared to the wrestlers they're watching. And you saw a lot of these overweight individuals, to put it lightly, running out of breath, trying to go up the down escalator. And there was one funny video of this guy like just holding on to his knees, and he's trying his absolute best just to go past the crowd going the casual up elevator. I'm sure you can find it on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, wherever it may be. But overall, Wrestling is not what it used to be, and I'm kind of glad I just did my thing, fast forward through most of it, and watched it and went, okay, that was neat. Yay. Well, it looks like the first round of the NFL draft is tonight. It's being held in Green Bay, scheduled to begin actually like right now. It says begin at 5 p.m. Eastern time, which is 3 p.m. our time. It will be televised in a big way. The event will be broadcast on ABC, ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN Deportes. I forgot how you say that actually. And the NFL Network, with each network hosting their own NFL draft shows. And also in pro football news, while tonight's NFL draft is getting a ton of attention, football fans now have something to look forward to. The NFL announced that the Los Angeles Chargers and the Detroit Lions will face off in the Hall of Fame game, which is the first preseason game and will be played this year in Canton, Ohio on July 31st. Tennis legend Andre Agassi is taking on a new challenge. He'll be making his pro pickleball debut at the U.S. Open Pickleball Championships in Naples, Florida. Agassi is teaming up with 18-year-old pickleball star Anna Leigh Waters, who has won 148 Professional Pickleball Association titles and is known across her sport as the greatest women's player of all time at 18 years old. The tournament begins Saturday, will be broadcast on CBS Sports Network, and that does it for your Shot Clock Sports Update right here on K-Bear 101. Peaches Pit Party right here on K-Bear 101. A quick heads up, if you've got any flights planned after May 7th, the TSA will start enforcing the Real ID requirement. There was already a ton of those pre-recorded messages in both airports that I was at for my California trip, which means if you're flying out of Idaho, you'll need a Star Card or another compliant form of ID to get through security. The Star Card is Idaho's version of the Real ID. It's got a little star in the corner, and you can get it at your local DMV, but make sure you've got the right documents with you when you go. You know, the whole classic thing with the DMV, you got to show everything. You might as well show up with everything, and I mean everything. If you're not sure whether your license is compliant or how to upgrade, there's all the details posted over on eastidahonews.com. Again, this kicks in starting May 7th. So plan ahead before your next trip. I know I got the Star ID on my car, but my license actually expires this year, and I keep looking at my license photo, and it looks, I look a whole lot different now compared to how I used to. I think one of the TSA agents at the John Wayne Airport in Santa Ana saw my picture, then saw me, and was like, wow, all this guy's hair moved to his face. Again, you can see this article in its entirety at eastidahonews.com. Remember the viral ice bucket challenge from 2014? It's back, apparently, but this time it's called the hashtag Speak Your Mind Ice Bucket Challenge, and it's all about raising awareness for mental health. The last Ice Bucket Challenge, if you remember, was to raise money and awareness for ALS. The new challenge, which was created by students at the University of South Carolina, has already raised nearly $300,000 for Active Minds, a national youth mental health nonprofit. Just like the original, you grab a bucket, fill it with ice water, dump or have someone dump it on your head, record it, nominate your 3 friends. I'm sure somebody is bound to nominate either Victor or myself, and if Victor gets nominated, he's for sure going to nominate me, and I'll have to nominate, I don't know, maybe. I'll think of 3 people for when I have to do it, but there is a bit of a controversy with this one, though. Some say this new challenge overshadows the original, which was meant to bring attention to a disease that few people know about. Others say the new challenge will actively bring more attention to the original ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. And of course, others say bringing attention to mental health is also important. However you feel about this movement, there's tons of videos on your socials already. I mean, celebrities like Peyton Manning, James Charles. I love how this article says celebrities like Peyton Manning, a Hall of Fame quarterback, and then a dude known for makeup. And they even linked the James Charles Ice Bucket Challenge video. No thanks. I'll just continue to I'll for sure do the Ice Bucket Challenge at some point. We'll see if either Victor or me get nominated. I'll have to nominate Jade for sure. The NFL draft is literally happening right now over in Green Bay, and it's that magical time where people's lives can be changed forever. They'll make a ton of money. Maybe they spend it all. Maybe they learn how to save through a trustworthy accountant, and next thing you know, they're invested in all these different businesses, and they're making even more money. And they're playing a sport that's, terrible for your brain. But overall, all eyes will be on dudes like Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders, who is Deion Sanders' son. But every draft class has at least one certified bust. You remember Ryan Leaf, taken right after Peyton Manning played 4 years, won 4 games, left with a passer rating you could match with a blindfold and a Nerf ball? And that got me thinking, what if normal jobs had draft busts? Imagine Todd, 38, out of Boise Office Depot. Do they still have Office Depots around? I'm just making this up. Big upside in inventory control, but under-delivered hard. Fumbled the printer order. Got written up for emotional outbursts in toner aisle 3, certified bust. How about Janet from accounting? Shifty in the open field of tax season, but scouts say she disappears in quarter 3. Low motor, avoids eye contact, questionable snack hygiene, probably slips to the late rounds. You get what I mean, right? Chad, he's a great Arby's employee. He's a drive-through specialist with a cannon for a voice, but flagged twice for TikToks on the job. Once called out sick to go to Monster Jam. Teams are concerned about maturity. Like, what if we got traded like athletes too? Like, what if Jade one time just walks up to me and says, "Hey, you've been traded to that pop station over in Boise, and I just can't believe it. I feel betrayed." This almost slipped under my radar. I talked about it before I left for my little California getaway that somebody was bound to have a run-in with the bison of Yellowstone. The Yellowstone, the Local News 8 page posted a reminder for all Yellowstone visitors: never approach the wildlife. Yellowstone National Park opened its west entrance Friday, April 18th. Friday, April 18th, less than a week later. This video shared with Local News 8 by this person named Shannon Snook captured a group of unnamed tourists posing outside their car next to a wild bison. Yeah, just posing with the bison. People don't listen, man. They don't listen until it's too late. They get hit. Grandma goes flying. Next thing you know, grandma's in the hospital. And sure enough, that's when they learn their lesson. It says on June 1st, 2024, an 83-year-old woman was gored by a bison while visiting the national park. I'll have to try to share this video on the K-Bear Facebook page at K-Bear 101 FM. If you're new to the area and you're just now tuning in, please do not get close to the bison at Yellowstone. Well, hey, if you're looking for a reason to blow your next paycheck, Nintendo's got you. As promised, retail pre-orders for the brand new Nintendo Switch 2 start today. The console itself, $449. But if you're feeling, extra spicy, extra spendy, you can buy the Mario Kart bundle for $499.99. For the diehards who need to drift around Rainbow Road while emotionally recovering from the price tag. If everything stays on track, the actual release date is going to be June 5th, which means you've got about 6 weeks to convince your partner that this is, in fact, a necessary investment in your mental health. Switch 2, shinier, faster. If you don't pre-order it now, you might be stuck watching toddlers unbox it on YouTube while you cry into that old dusty Wii U, I believe the next time we do make the Switch, back when the time changes this fall, we'll have to see if we can even get one to give away rather than just the now old first Nintendo Switch. Everybody wants the Nintendo Switch 2. Is that thing... So my friend Christian was telling me that potentially the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be able to play old Game Boy games. Is that true? Let me look this up. It says here, will Nintendo Switch 2... Come on, just give me the information here. Can I play Game Boy games on the Switch? I'll just look that up. Can I play Game Boy games on Switch? Yes, you can play Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games on the Nintendo Switch through Nintendo Switch Online. That's not the... Maybe for the 2? I don't know. I'm hoping that question can be answered soon. It'd be great to... Well, I still have my old Game Boy Color. My parents got me a different one that's a transparent one not that long ago. And I was thinking about either busting that out, or maybe I should just play the high-def version of those old games. Maybe I should just plug those games into the new Nintendo Switch 2. I don't have $500 to spend. Are you kidding me? I might just need to watch YouTubers play. That's the best way to save money on video games. Instead of you playing the actual video game, just watch like a Twitch streamer or YouTuber play your favorite game instead. Peach's Pit Party right here on K-Bear 101, Idaho's only rock station. If you're tall like me, you struggle with a lot of things that are down low. You help people reach things on the top shelf, but when it comes to the bottom shelf, you don't really bother. I don't really see much that's on the bottom shelf. If you really want to hide something from me, put it on the very bottom of a display and I won't see it. So earlier today, Victor told me nothing really new happened around here. I'm calling bogus on that because I walked towards the break room earlier this morning and saw that we got a completely new water cooler in the break room. And this actually genuinely makes me happy, only because the previous water cooler that they had back there was a tabletop unit that they decided to put onto the ground. And it was like a foot off of the ground. Every single time I wanted to refill my water bottle, I had to bend all the way down. I looked silly and awkward doing so in the break room. And now this new one, I hardly have to bend over at all. That's right. Because if I forget to wear a belt, people are going to see my boxers as I'm trying to refill my water bottle. It's not a good sight for me or for people around here. Over in Myanmar, is that how you say it? Myanmar, a self-proclaimed TikTok astrologer. Yes, those are apparently real people now named John Mo. Wait, John Mo the. Is that really the username of this guy? John Mo the. Decided to go viral by predicting another massive earthquake that would hit every city in the country within 12 days. Now, just to set the scene, this was 2 weeks after a real quake killed over 3,700 people. So naturally, his prediction caused full-blown panic. People packed up, moved out of apartments, rented homes in the countryside, all because a 21-year-old with a star chat and a ring light said, "The vibes are off." But plot twist, turns out predicting natural disasters without evidence isn't a great idea. Authorities arrested him for spreading false information. And if he really was psychic, you'd think he'd have seen the SWAT team coming. So let this be a lesson. If you're going to predict earthquakes on TikTok, maybe start with something easier like your ex texting you back or when Mercury's going to retrograde your career into the ground, something like that. This could have worked also today for What the Headline. Here's a sentence I never thought I would say on air. There's a violent woodpecker on the loose in Massachusetts, and he is not here to make friends in the coastal town of Rockport. This bird has been going full WWE on people's cars, pecking mirrors, tearing up trim, just absolutely losing it because he thinks his reflection is another woodpecker trying to steal his girl or something. Like, no joke. That's what the wildlife experts are saying, that he's likely confusing his own mirror image for a rival, which is wild because, I mean, could you imagine? You're about to go leave for work. You see this woodpecker just tearing up your car. It would make you want to kill every woodpecker you ever see ever again. So far, about 25 cars have been vandalized. Residents have been told to cover their mirrors when parked, which I guess makes sense, but also feels like the woodpecker just won, like we're negotiating with the woodpecker now. No word yet on how town officials plan to stop him. I would love to know the end of this thing. Maybe there will be some person, some brave soul that walks out front with a shotgun or something, maybe even like a BB gun, and just waits for that woodpecker and has the best aim possible and just nails it and gets rid of it completely. There were a few posts made, I mean, not only in our K-Bear group, but also on the Life in Idaho Falls Facebook group as well. One person was talking about, well, this person actually kept track of all the country songs that were being played on Z103, which I found, this person was surprisingly just into it, which I think is cool. If you're that into live local radio, I appreciate it. And he was talking about asking why there was so much country being played on Z103. And of course, I could get into the whole thing about how country music is very popular and it's Idaho's #1 hit music channel, which is why country music is being played all over Z103. Sleep Token is also being played on Z103 because, well, Sleep Token's absolutely killing it streaming-wise. But there was also another post made by Brandon in the K-Bear 101 Idaho Rock and Metal Facebook group talking about how he feels like K-Bear plays way too much Ghost. And I almost wanted to make a comment comparing it to when you buy a certain car or you think of a certain car, or like, should I say, maybe the Cybertruck. That's a great example. You see the Cybertruck a whole lot more because it stands out. And if you have this hatred for it, of course, you're going to see it immediately. Maybe that's a bad comparison. Maybe like, let's say you buy a new car, no matter what car it is, and you start seeing that make and model on the road more because you have it and it stands out to you. It's kind of like how I feel about Sublime. Of course, I'm going to hear Sublime a whole lot more because it just stands out to me, even though we don't play all that much Sublime on here. Ghost does get played a little bit more because, well, they're extremely popular. And I thought it was hilarious that Brandon made this post yesterday. Ghost's new album comes out tomorrow, and Victor plans on playing the entire thing on the air from start to finish. He uploaded a whole YouTube short, Instagram reel all about this Ghost listening party. I think he said he's going to play it at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. So if you're up early and you're into Ghost, make sure to tune in. Yeah, it looks like it will be happening during the 7 a.m. hour tomorrow morning. So there we go. Ghost listening party very early on to kick off our Friday together, or to kick off our Friday towards the weekend. I'm excited for the new Ghost album. I love Ghost. I think they're fantastic. And I've been really enjoying the couple of tracks they've released so far. Looking forward to the rest of the album. By the way, since you're listening to the podcast, if you want to hear the actual live show, make sure to listen through the K-Bear 101 app, or you can go to riverbendmediagroup.com and listen that way. You can also tell your Amazon Alexa to play K-Bear 101. You can also have your Google Home device do the exact same thing. And overall, thank you for listening to the Peaches Pit Party podcast. Back to the show. So yesterday, as I was chilling, just having the day off, I was at my apartment, and my friend Andy usually streams on Twitch Wednesday afternoons, and every time I go on to watch Andy stream, not only him, but everyone else in the chat goes, Peaches, give us a good to Peach their own question. And they really look forward to the question for some reason. So I'm like, okay, considering I have the day off, I'll just go to ChatGPT. And I asked the AI, like, hey, could you give me a question that people could debate in a fun way? And it gave me this one right here. What's the most mid food that everyone else seems to enjoy? I did like RJ's answer already in the K-Bear 101 Idaho Rock and Metal Facebook group. Indian food, that spicy, mushy baby food, isn't as good as it's hyped up to be. I find Indian food quite good. All right, I like a good chicken tikka masala. I like naan bread. I like a mango lassi. There was a great Indian place in Fullerton back when I went to college over there. I forgot the name of it, but I've been meaning to go back. I wonder if it's still around even post-COVID, because the last time I was there was like 2016, 2017 maybe. But what's the most mid food that everyone else just seems to love? Let me know. Call in live to the show right now at 208-535-1015 for to peach their own. I figured since I was gone for 10 days, people would not call in for today's to peach their own, but I am back live in studio. And today's question, what's the most mid food that everyone else seems to love? Talked about RJ's answer in the K-Bear 101 Idaho Rock and Metal Facebook group. He said Indian food. I did see sushi from Kenny, truffle oil, anything as well from him. Mandy just simply put chicken. Now, chicken breast, it's awful. Okay, I used to cook it so much, and I have now got, I don't care for it anymore. I would much rather have chicken thighs, and I would put a whole bunch of seasoning on it. Jeff put Pepsi. Wow. Really? Pepsi? I mean, I like Pepsi over Coke, to be quite honest with you. Well, I shouldn't say that. Actually, I like both sodas equally, to be quite honest with you. I shouldn't have said that first part. But cherry Pepsi over cherry Coke. Sorry, Coke. I know there's some Coke employees that tune into this station. I like cherry Pepsi more. What's the most mid food that everyone else seems to enjoy, to love? Call in right now at 208-535-1015. If there's no answers, well, I'll just move on to something else. And something important might come up soon. Just a hint. So nobody called in for to peach their own, so let's just move on to something else that is supposed to happen this hour. And I have a good feeling that all the lines will fill up right as I say this. It's your second cue to call. Right now, it is your time to try and be caller 20 at 208-535-1015. Be caller 20. Guess the secret sound correctly, powered by the Advocates Injury Attorneys, and you will win $476. That's right. Call in right now, 208-535-1015. Let's see if I can give nearly $500 away. Good luck. All righty, caller 20. Who is this?
Dustin.
All righty. Are you ready to hear the secret sound and then try to guess it correctly?
I am.
All right, here we go.
All right.
All righty, for $476, what is your best guess?
Is it thumbing around in a box?
Rummaging around through a box or like thumbing around in a... Okay, thumbing around in a box. Let's go ahead and see. Is that the correct answer? Let's find out here.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. The prize pot now at $501. Don't worry, there's still plenty of opportunities in the near future to either get called or be caller 20. Have you signed up through the apps at all?
I have not.
Okay, make sure to do that so that way there's another shot, too, at us potentially calling you and you winning even more money now, thanks to the Advocates Injury Attorneys.
Perfect. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. You have a great rest of your day.
You too. Bye.
Bye. The K-Bear 101 Secret Sound, powered by the Advocates Injury Attorneys, now up to $501. Listen tomorrow morning, 7:05. Victor will give out the times to call. Listen for that cue to call, and make sure to sign up within the apps. K-Bear, Alt, and Cannonball. Thanks for listening to Peach's Pit Party, the podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please share, subscribe, and rate the podcast. Peach's Pit Party is hosted by me, Peaches, a.k.a. Brendan Peach, and is a production of Riverbend Media Group. For more information or to contact the show, visit riverbendmediagroup.com. Until next time, Peach out.